welcome to Would I Lie to You, a podcast in which we try to fool each other into thinking we're telling truths while we lie our faces off. My name is Scribbler. I will be your host and moderator today, in as much as I moderate anything. And today I am joined by Cerridwen.
Howdy doodles.
Clever Hooves.
Penis! Happiness. Hi.
Midnight 29.
Well, there's no way to follow that. Hello!
VladiVoices.
Hello.
And Xena.
Hey there.
And today, everybody has played before, so I am going to explain the rules purely for our audience. So, round one is going to be Home Truths, in which a participant reads out a statement about themselves, and the opposing panelists have to decide whether it's a truth or a lie. The opposing panelists are allowed to interrogate them reading the statement, and if it's a lie, they must think of responses on the spot to convince the others that it is true. They will have a set number of minutes, and at the end, we have to vote on whether or not we think it's a lie or a truth, and those who get it right get a point.
Yoo-hoo!
Are we all okay with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Understood.
And just because I kind of like messing with Xena, we're going to go in reverse order.
Oh, thank fuck. Thank you.
Wait, so I go first again?
You're going first, then it's
I've
Vladi,
gone
then
first
it's midnight.
every time.
I
I've been
know,
on
because
here.
it's hilarious, so I make you do
fuck
this.
you.
No, you couldn't.
Xena, if you weren't here, it would go chronologically, and I'm usually hit first, so
It is
thank you.
Never mind. I have blackmail on you as well, Scribbler.
Oh, you have plenty of blackmail on me. I remember that very long time at the McDonald's.
Yeah, that wasn't interesting. I won't tell all that story.
There you go.
Let's see what Scribbler sent me. Okay, here's the line that she's given me. Whether or not it's true or false, we'll find out.
Lie, lie, lie.
I used to steal lighters for my friends from convenience stores as a kid.
You have 3 minutes to interrogate him. Off you go.
I'm going to assume true. No questions.
Just straight.
You're supposed to ask questions, not immediately go, yeah, it's Xena, true.
From my experience here, I'm not going to question him with potential firearms and hazardous items.
That is true. The last twice that you've been on Xena, you were
I'm-
selling guns to the police and putting cherry bombs in toilets.
I have drawn so many firearms, I've drawn you with guns and bombs. I'm not questioning nothing.
Oh gosh, yeah, you're in charge of the thumbnail, so you know exactly.
Well, but that's what makes this, I think, a lie, because it's so obviously it's way more innocent than the other ones.
I mean, when I've done so much crazy shit, I guess it makes it harder to tell whether or not it's true or not. So
I think lie. I don't think he stole. I think he's fine doing legal things, because the other ones were quasi-legal things that he was doing.
This is so vanilla. It could be just true.
yeah,
That's what I mean.
Then question me about it, like what
No,
details.
no,
do you
because
need?
you're just going to lie your
asked him a
face off
question
whether
yet.
it's true or not. There's no point.
You're a minute into your 3 minutes and not one of you's asked a question.
Can I
No.
ask, did you ever get caught?
Thank you, Midnight.
You're welcome.
Midnight asked, did you ever get caught?
No, I have not been caught.
I do have a question, though, and the question is, were these for smoking, or were they for, shenanigans?
Shenanigans.
See, and I think it's false. False. Just gonna say it, false. He's lying. It's a lie!
That was so aggressive.
Yeah,
Could
oh
you
my
turn
god.
down your gain slightly, please? Because you fucking deafened me on that one.
I apologize. I'll
poor-
turn down
It's
my game.
alright.
Think of the poor listeners with
You
their
know what?
Headphone
headphones.
warning.
You can balance it in post. Whatever.
I'm gonna say that it's their fault for letting me know that I was on my potato mic earlier, and then I switched to my better mic. So that's why.
Sputnik.
Also, you have 1 more minute, guys.
Xena.
How old were you?
Yeah,
How old was I at the time?
yeah.
Between 7 and 9-ish.
Good grief. Yeah, you wouldn't have been smoking then. Hopefully.
Who knows, honestly.
I mean, it was for shenanigans apparently. So
What kind of shenanigans did you guys get into with these lighters?
you said what was the other question somebody asked?
What-
How did you steal them?
So what there was one convenience store in particular that had rows of lighters next to the door. so that you could just reach up and grab one like in a like fluid motion as you reach for the door handle and go out. And then what did you say? What did I use them for?
Yes.
I mean, like I said, shenanigans, starting fires.
But, like, what kind of fires? Are we talking like arson?
Campfires in like, you know, like in our little dens and little places that we used to, you know, create all over the like neighborhood and stuff.
Did you get paid for this?
Yeah, did you sell them?
No, like because we're all kids, like the we couldn't get a hold of lighters obviously easily normally. So basically, if I did that, then I would be able to like dare other people to do stuff in exchange, if you know what I mean. There's a whole like kid sort of economy.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, voting time. Okay then. So, Cerridwen, do you think it's truth or a lie?
So vanilla, I'm gonna go and say it's true.
Clever, truth or lie?
He gets me every time, and I'm just gonna go with lie. I mean, it sounds completely plausible. It works totally with his personality, and it's the one reason why I don't think it's true. So I'm gonna go with lie.
Midnight?
Ich weiß nicht. True?
I like the question mark
Xena.
at the end of that.
True?
I get to vote on my own whether or not it's true.
I'm going through my little like, scoreboard. Vladi?
True.
Xena, was it truth or lie?
It was true.
Damn it!
I
So everybody gets a point apart from Clever.
Ah,
Trying to be too smart.
every time.
There are some very vanilla stuff that I've never done actually, to be fair. So
Okay. So, Vladi, you're up next.
I once owned a black swan.
Was it?
did
Was
you
it
live
adult?
did you live on a farm or
Oh,
something?
well, one at a time.
Cerridwen, then Xena.
Was it a baby or an adult?
Baby became adult.
Did you live on a farm or something? Was that how you had access to this thing?
Not a farm, but countryside.
How did you get the swan?
There was some exotic bird breeder that lived like a mile down the street.
Exotic?
Yeah, like they had those like African crown like birds that are like super tall, like one pair of them, and then just some other birds like different ducks and geese. And they had the black swans.
How did you buy it, or did your parents buy it for you, or did they gift it to you?
My
Did it
mother
escape?
did.
Your mother bought it for you.
Yeah.
Some kids get PS5s. Vladi got a swan.
Hee
Why a swan?
Because they look cute.
How old were you?
Oh, good question. Maybe I would guess about 14. I can't quite remember.
What was its name?
One more minute.
Pucca.
That wasn't his name.
I'm sorry. What?
Pucca.
You mean like Pucca the cartoon?
Yeah.
Oh,
Pucca.
I loved Pucca.
It was named after that.
And when did the swan leave your life?
Oh. After some either coyote or wild dog got it in the night.
How long did you have with Pucca?
At least like 1 or 2 years.
Did you keep it at your place, or did it stay at like a farm or something? Or
We had a pond it swam in.
Did you have to clip its wings so it wouldn't fly away?
Nope, she just hung out.
All right, guys, time to vote. Xena, do you reckon that she's lying or telling the truth?
I'm gonna say it's a lie.
Midnight, lying or telling the truth?
Lie.
Clever, lying or telling the truth?
I also think it's a lie.
Cerridwen, are you going to make this a quartet, or are you going on your own?
I'm gonna go against the grain and say true.
Vladi, was it a lie or truth?
Pucca was a real swan. I had her.
Oh
Yeah!
my gosh.
So only Cerridwen gets a point, meaning that Cerridwen's now in the lead. Also, R.I.P. Pucca.
Oh, poor thing.
Pucca los quiero. He's a pretty boy.
Did you know that the company that made Pucca went on to become DHX and make My Little Pony?
Oh my goodness, no, I didn't.
It's the same company, it was the same animators, and it's the same tech that
my
they
goodness.
started using Pucca that then used on
You're
MLP.
gonna have to link this to me because I have no idea what Pucca is.
Oh my
That's awesome.
gosh. It was a mid-2000s cartoon. Hang on, I'm pausing this just to show you Pucca.
Oh, okay.
All of the episodes are for free on YouTube now, by the way.
I love how much stuff is like on the
There she
internet for
is.
free now.
Aww.
She was a
Aw.
very
There you
sweet
go.
thing. I'd race her, like when coming back from school and stuff, I'd race her across the pond and she'd like swim after me and like she
Oh.
always would greet us by bobbing her head going like,
Aww.
She seems really sweet.
Yeah, I don't recognize
Yeah.
Pucca, but
Oh, that
yeah.
thing. Yes, I do know
That's
that.
Pucca.
I know that.
yeah, the
Yep.
black with red coloring, that's where I got the name.
Unfortunately, you've summoned the song Pucca, the Pucca song, which I'm going to share in chat because, oh my god.
Oh no, what? Dude, what is that ugly thing? That is not Pucca I'm familiar with.
It's from like a horror show. I think they did like seasonal things and they had Pucca as like Easter for some reason.
I guess because of the rabbit shape-shifting stuff.
No, I'm sticking to Pucca loves Garu.
Yeah, she's a pretty boy.
You can kind of see where some of the random humor from MLP came from with that being the same company.
Very
Right.
much, yeah.
So now we're on to Midnight. Midnight, it is your choice. I'm sending you your statement now.
Okay, sorry, I'm getting attacked by a cat.
Hello, kitty.
She wants food. I gave her a treat and now she's on my shoulder. As a child, I wrote a letter to the Queen inviting her to dinner. And I got a reply.
What did the queen say?
She apologized that she would not be able to make it. She very much appreciated the invitation.
Aw, sweet.
Was it because you're from Ireland?
No. It's probably because she had at the time a very busy time. I don't know. I mean,
Oh.
She's the
It was
queen. It's a busy schedule.
Was
Yeah.
it like an automated reply, or did it seem like it was handwritten or whatever?
Yeah, was it like typed and then signed, or was it like completely handwritten?
it was mostly handwritten. I think there was a bit of typing on it, but it was mostly handwritten by one of her
Interesting.
ladies in waiting.
How do you know it was a lady in waiting?
Because it said on it,
Oh.
lady in waiting.
What do you remember? Who?
No idea. I was just disappointed that the Queen wasn't going to come to my house for dinner.
Did you
But-
tell any of your friends that the queen was coming?
No. To be honest, I wasn't expecting a reply, and then I got really excited that this very fancy letter appeared, and then my father read it, and it was like, "Aww."
But it's fancy. Well, did you keep it?
It's somewhere in the house. I admittedly don't know where, but I know it's somewhere in the house.
What inspired you to invite the queen in the first place?
I'll be honest, I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. I just know I wrote to her at one point and was like, "Come to dinner, please. I
How
want to
old-
meet you."
How old were you roughly when this happened?
I was in primary school, so about 7 or 8.
So
Okay.
still just old enough to play with like dolls and tea sets, kind of.
Did your parents help you do this, or?
Yeah, I think my dad helped me, to be honest, because he's better at spelling at that point than I was.
At that point, is he not great?
Well, no, I'm not that great.
Oh.
Still,
1
wait,
minute.
that doesn't make sense.
What was for dinner?
It was just a general invitation, so it was like, "Come to dinner," you know.
Do you have to pay postage to write the queen?
Of course.
Interesting.
Where did you address it to? Like Buckingham Palace, or?
Yeah, Buckingham Palace, I think.
Did you address it and send it, or did your parents address it and send it for you?
I think they helped me address it, and then they sent it because I had school, so it wasn't often that I was able to go to the post box.
Do you recall about how long it took to get a response?
It was a good couple of weeks, actually, because I had
Well-
forgotten about it by that point, and then I got a letter, so it was a couple of weeks at the very least.
Okay.
Ooh.
Was there a scent on them? This is sound weird, but did they have a particular smell?
I don't remember, but it was fancy paper.
Queen only has the richest and thickest of letters.
That's thick with two C's.
That sounds very.
Time to vote. Okay. Cerridwen, lying or telling the truth?
This sounds adorable, but some part of me thinks that this is a lie.
Clever? Do you reckon Midnight is telling the truth or telling a lie?
I mean, I think it's a true story. So I'm going to go with true.
Xena? Truth or lie?
I think some parts of it are true, but the overall story is a lie.
And Vladi? Truth or lie?
Something doesn't sit right, so I'm just gonna say lie.
Midnight, is it truth or lie?
It is true.
So only
Oh
Clever gets a
my
point.
I finally got a point.
Yay!
Which means at this point, Cerridwen's in the lead with 2 points. Clever, Midnight, and Vladi with 1 point, and Xena's lurking with 0 points.
I've never got like 1 point in most of these, so
Right. Clever, it is your turn now.
Uh-oh.
Knock.
You'll be fine.
I don't know.
There you are.
After a mix-up with the town planner, my house now has a really stupid name on Google Maps.
stupid name, like an address name.
No, I live in a small town, and they actually like will put on Google Maps the like say the who lives in a certain place, and they screwed up my name, and it's really stupid.
The penises.
Like your name, or just like the house. Like here in the UK, at least, you can have like a name for your house, like the fucking cottage down the street from the whatever. Sometimes
Greenhouse on the hill.
yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Usually it's
no.
like the unicorn house or some shit.
Well, no, not ours. This kind of involves my in real life name, but so my first name is CLEVAH,
Oh, so you can't say what it was?
but Scribbler needs to bleep that out. The point is,
My first name is Yay.
yeah,
Hello?
my first name is CLEVAH, but they didn't put
no.
CLEVAH in. What they did instead do was put Wayne in, and my last name in real life, and you're going to have to bleep this out, is CLEVAH, and it's you don't want to have that name. You just have to say it out loud, and you'll get it.
Hey.
Somebody say it, because I don't actually get
I
it.
don't get it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, great.
what's
Am I
wrong
going to
with-
have to tell it?
Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah,
have
go
to.
on.
CLEVAH.
If I'm right, understanding that,
Right, okay.
right?
Yeah. So CLEVAH house is a problem.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's cool.
That's very unfortunate.
It
we
is.
we lost Vladi. Gonna have to pause.
I'm back.
Oh, she's back.
And she's back. Yeah, it's yeah. We've been fighting with the town for a while, and it's just stupid.
Why will they not change it?
Well, it's a big case of like whose job is it to change? Like, I'm supposed to appeal to Google. Google keeps sending me back to the town because they won't recognize me as an authority, and it's like it's my fucking house. Can we not just? Yeah, it's stupid.
Is it to do with someone who owns the land?
They just got my first name wrong. I don't know why. I still trying to figure it out because it doesn't make any bloody sense.
Is
such
it?
a Britishism. That doesn't make any bloody sense.
It doesn't. It's a Canadianism too.
Okay, guys, time to vote. So, Vladi, were you here for all of that?
Most of it.
Okay. Vladi, was he lying or telling the truth?
Just from the sheer passion in his voice, I shouldn't trust an actor, but I'm gonna say true.
Xena, lying or telling the truth?
I'm gonna say lie.
Midnight, lying or telling the truth?
With his awkwardness around it, I would say telling the truth.
Cerridwen, lying or telling the truth?
Vladi does have a point that was like some major anger issues there, so I'm going to go with true.
And Clever, were you lying or telling the truth?
I was lying.
God damn!
Oh yes.
The actor strikes again!
So Xena's finally got a point.
Impressive.
Especially impressive because he didn't know that I was going to give him that lie. I was really impressed at how well he came up with something that was stupid for Google Maps.
Right?
Well done.
I looked at it and I was like, fuck. But I've often joked, so I did have that one in my back pocket. I was like, I'd never name my kid Wayne. And people look at me funny, and I'm like, just think about the full name. And it's like a comedy grenade because it comes in waves of when people get it. And they're like, and then you got people out loud going, what's wrong with CLEVAH?
It's funnier when they say it out loud, not realizing.
That's right. They're sitting around going, "What's wrong with CLEVAH? There's nothing wrong with CLEVAH." I'm like, "Yeah, no, nothing wrong with CLEVAH at all." The funny part, though, is that Scribbler is going to have to like bleep all that out, and people are going to be
realize
so
that it's
confused.
But because it's not a traditionally American word, everybody when I bleep that is going to think that the name of your house is
CLEVAH. That's okay.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. But
Okay.
you have to bleep out the whole thing because I don't want people knowing my last name because that is my in real life last name.
I mean, I
That's
told
too
you
many.
about the school I worked at. There was a guy there called Mr. Fiddler.
Oy.
Oh,
No,
no.
this again.
Oh,
But-
I think you said this one.
Yes, I
You know
did.
that's a very common name in my neck of the woods because Fiddler is a very common Métis name, and it's again based on that. That's a huge part of the historical culture. So Fiddler out here doesn't immediately go to anywhere nasty.
Yeah,
it goes immediately to playing an instrument.
Yeah,
And
like
not that instrument, Xena. Not that
I
instrument.
mean, I've heard that German names can be like that as well, where your like name is basically like sausage maker or something, which is kind of weird.
I mean,
Well, it's no
we've
different
got
than
this
Baker.
Baker, Taylor, things like that.
Yeah, Taylor's
Yep.
quite a common last name.
Are we ready to move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Probably.
Yes.
Cerridwen's turn.
Oh, God.
Okay, sending this to you now.
I tried fixing my shoe with super glue and literally got stuck to the floor.
Okay, when did you do this? As a kid, as an adult?
As an adult.
I like how
Where
you said
did the
that.
glue come from?
From work.
The
So you were
Okay.
pilfering things.
No, I was borrowing because I was in a bit of a shoe. I was in a bit of a pickle because the front of my shoe had decided to create a mouth.
Oh, and it was doing the flippy flop thing? Yeah.
Where you walk
Yes.
and the bottom of your shoe bends under your foot.
How did you get stuck to the floor, though?
So, I had glued the mouth shut. I did not wait for the glue to dry, and thinking I could make sure that it stuck together properly, I put my foot in the shoe and stepped into it, and got stuck.
Was
Like-
your foot glued, or like could you get your foot out?
At one point, I wasn't sure I could even get my foot out.
Clearly, you did, though.
I eventually did, yes.
How did you get your foot out?
By taking my foot out and then like finding the nearest utensil to undo my shoe from the floor.
You had to spatula your shoe.
Yup.
Oh my.
Well, that must have been an interesting sight to see.
To say there was panic on my face is an understatement.
So this happened at what, work?
Yes.
You weren't wearing socks or anything? Or did it seep through the socks?
Luckily, it didn't seep into my socks. That was because it's like on the in like where the sole is, like on the outside bit where the that makes any sense. Surgery's gone to my head.
What did you end up doing then? Did you manage to get it off and let it dry off to one side, or what?
I eventually got it off, and I have not worn the shoe since.
What about
did you
the other
just,
shoe?
I was gonna say, did you just go shoeless for that day, or did you have a backup pair, or did you just go home?
I went home wearing it, but I haven't worn it since.
Did you learn your lesson?
Yes, I think. I've been told not to use super glue because it's not thick enough to keep it together. It's not the right glue for it.
Well, that is true. Says the guy who's had to repair several of his son's shoes.
Gorilla glue is apparently good for it. Now that
Yeah.
I
Oh
know.
yes, Gorilla
Yeah.
Glue is very good for it. I've had to
Yep.
super glue my shoes
What-
a few times.
What kind of glue was it that you stole from work?
Super glue.
They're just generic? Or they had
It
someone
was,
like
just,
a...
it was just generic super glue from
Why does
maintenance
your work keep super glue kicking around?
museum.
I guess. All right.
Ready for voting. Okay, Xena. Is she lying or telling
Oh,
the
mate,
truth?
you could flip a coin on this one. I'm gonna say it's true.
Vladi, lying or telling the truth?
I'm gonna go with lie.
Midnight, lying or telling the truth?
Well, since I've done it before, I'll say true.
Clever, lying or telling the truth?
I don't know. I'm gonna go with lie.
Cerridwen, was it a lie or a truth?
Unfortunately, it was fucking true.
Oh.
Yes, Cerridwen did indeed. Glue
I've
herself to
never
the
had
floor.
2 points in all my life on this show.
Yes, that
Yay!
means that you, Cerridwen, and Midnight are actually tied for first place, with Clever and Vladi
Ooh.
lurking in a joint second.
Lurking.
This never happens.
Lurking in last place.
I kind of want Xena to win this time, just to prove everybody wrong.
What do you mean everybody wrong? Are you trying to say
Break
that we all
that
think
Yeah,
Xena
who was
isn't the
saying-
winner?
You all have no faith in Xena, including himself.
Wow, I
have
don't remember
complete
anybody
faith
saying
in
that.
Xena. Yeah.
I have
Maybe it
faith
was the
in
voices in my
Xena.
head.
I just trust that he's gonna have firearms.
Yeah, and cherry bombs and whatnot.
Oh my god.
Some sort of firecracker.
And now lighters.
Yes.
That's where it all started.
True.
Lighters and guns and firecrackers, oh my.
Ooh.
Oh, are we all okay to do a second round of home truths?
Yes, let's do it.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So, Xena, you are going first now?
Yep,
Looping back
sure.
around.
Imagine if we all just ended this with a draw. Everyone on draw.
There
What
you
do
go.
I have to draw?
No, if we all ended on like the same points. But yes, you are drawing this, aren't
If
you?
we ended all on
Probably.
same points, then Vladi would be compelled to draw us all with equal cutie marks.
Oh my.
I'm gonna.
Here is
No.
the next one. I once jumped into a puddle, thinking it was a puddle, and it turned out to be a manhole, and I sunk down to my armpits.
Were you okay?
Was this in America?
No, this is in the UK.
How did you jump in a manhole and only go to your armpits?
In the UK, it was a rain one. Those like little great ones. They're only about like 12 inches by like 18 inches, and they don't go that deep. We only have like shallow sewers.
How old were you?
I was probably like 11.
My goodness.
Because those things are pretty small here.
They are here as well, but when you're a skinny little kid, you can still fit.
Yeah, that is true. You were okay. You didn't like
I
break anything.
bruised my like elbows because obviously that stopped me from falling any further in, but it wasn't that deep.
So what did you do after? Like, did you just continue playing and stuff, or did you like have to go and shower it off right away?
Yeah, my friends thought it was hilarious and came and helped me out of it. And yeah, immediately did the whole go home crying, and my mum helped me get changed.
Oh,
Was there a clown in there with you?
No, I didn't get tempted by some weird clown that was like some eldritch creature.
okay, good.
Good.
Did you find any treasure down there?
Probably only all the shit from the street, so who knows? I mean, my shoes were filled with shit after all that. Not actual shit, but like because it was like a storm drain, not a sewer. But yeah, filled with like detritus from the street.
So I'm just trying to understand this. You said they're only about like 12, 14 inches deep?
No, wide, I say. Deep, they're probably about 3 feet deep.
Which
Okay.
most 11-year-olds tend to be about 3 feet and 4 feet tall.
Yeah, about a meter.
Yeah, about that much.
Can other UK participants confirm this fact for us Americans on the size of the storm drain stuff?
I don't know. I've never fell down one.
I believe so.
Cerridwen would know from running them over on her bicycle or something.
I don't own a bike. Thank you very much.
Wow.
You have about 30 seconds, guys.
Huh.
I don't know where to go with that.
Yeah, I
likely
don't know.
More likely to fall in a pothole.
Oh my god, they're getting pretty bad around here, honestly.
Is this a true story?
That would be giving the game away.
Okay, time to vote now that Vladi's done that. Vladi, do you think he's lying or telling the truth?
I'll go with true.
Midnight, is he lying or telling the truth?
I'll go with true as well.
Cerridwen, lying or telling the truth?
I'm squinting at that real hard, and I'm thinking, lie?
Clever,
With a
lying
question
or
mark.
telling the truth?
Lie.
It was a lie.
God dang.
Aha!
It was indeed a lie. He did not do that. That's literally, I made that up from the Vicar of Dibley.
I also had to modify it a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, in the original version, his friends had taken the things away to show that it was a manhole.
How am I allowed to do that? It's still lying, I guess.
Yeah, if it's a lie, you
Yeah.
get to do what you want with it.
Oh shit, nice.
I
I'll
got
run
a
it.
point. I got a
That
point.
Well
yes,
done.
Vladdy's finally got a
I
point.
just- Wait, what?
Vladdy's got a point, but she's lurking in last place. Midnight and Xena
Wait,
and
no,
Clever in
I
second.
guess that it was true.
I know, but that's why you've only
Yeah,
got
but
1
it's
point.
a lie.
That's why you've only got 1 point. Cerridwen's leading with 3.
Oh, okay, I thought you were saying I just got a point. I was
Nope,
confused.
you've only got 1 point. Unfortunately, you were
Okay,
in last
that-
place.
All right, that I agree on. It's cozy back here.
Lots of room.
Vladdy just
I
looking at
thought you were
everybody's
giving me
butts as they go ahead
extra
of her.
points. I'm like, wait, no. Well, you will not take my title of last place.
Right. Vladdy, you are next.
Ugh.
Here you go. Right, there you are.
I once had my purse, wallet stolen by a monkey.
You got a lot of animal-themed things. First it was a swan, now it's a monkey. Where were you?
I was over in India.
You were in India.
Yeah, I was on a family trip.
Your
Thought it would be
family
cool to see that.
went to India.
Yeah,
What did you see
saw
in
the
India?
different tourists. I'm not sure. I was really little. I didn't really care much besides the animals.
How little?
I would say about like 8.
Okay. Was this just like at a random place, or did you actually go somewhere looking to like go see monkeys and stuff?
They were like it was like some temple-y place. I'm afraid I don't know all the names to them, but I wanted to see all the different animals there. I kind of didn't care about the other places the adults wanted to go to.
Did any of the adults have trouble with the food and travel and water?
You know, they did a really good job hiding that from me, so as far as I could tell, everything was fine, but I do occasionally hear stories later on that, oh my god, this is terrible. I'm like, really? I thought I was the only one who suffered from that.
So you had problems? You had stomach problems while you were there?
A monkey stole my wallet.
No, I'm asking about the stomach problems, not the monkey.
I was a very picky eater, so anything that had a chance of being funny, I didn't really eat. I mostly just stuck to like very plain food.
Did you get it back?
No. And I just gotten it too. It was a nice Zelda one.
Did you have any
Aw.
like money or anything in it, or was it just like decorative?
Probably only a couple bucks, but it felt like a lot to me back then.
I think the trick is that you meant to exchange like treats with the monkey to get it back.
Probably, yeah. I was just mad and chased it, fell down, cried. Never saw it again.
How did you get
Hmm.
around in India? Like, did you guys have a car or what'd you do?
Stuff like taxis and stuff we would get on.
1 minute.
Traffic sucked.
Do you remember the place it was, the name of the city or anything like that?
I'm afraid I do not, and probably if I did, I wouldn't be able to pronounce it.
Did you do your parents tell this story to people that you know as like a funny little thing?
Cautionary tale.
Not really that I'm aware of. Not my parents, but family get-togethers. It sometimes comes up.
Time to vote. Clever. Do you think she is lying or telling the truth?
I think it's a lie.
Cerridwen, lying or telling the truth?
Lie?
Midnight, lying or telling the truth?
Lie.
Xena, lying or telling the truth?
It seems like such an obvious lie that I'm gonna say it's the truth.
Vladdy, were you lying or telling the truth?
It was a lie.
Oh,
Woo! Booyah!
Which means Cerridwen is still in the lead with 4, with Clever and Midnight coming in second with 3, Xena with 2, and Vladdy in last place.
me
Yeah,
and
That may
Vladi.
change on the next round, because Vladdy literally couldn't earn a point on that round.
Yeah, I've never been to India, but I've seen so many videos of monkeys in India stealing people's wallets and stuff. I'm like, okay, I can roll with this.
Yeah,
I was
think
like, you're in the right place, but I just didn't believe that you've been to India. That was just the only thing was trying to figure out.
I was
There's
going to
plenty
ask.
of like white tourists there. Where do you think all the videos come from of people's stuff being stolen?
I was going to
Well-
ask you if you could remember the description, like what the monkey looks like, but I thought it was pointless if you were quite young.
Okay, Midnight's turn.
My childhood nickname was One Sock.
This might be a bit of a cheat, but didn't you already do a question like this like a while ago? Or was that somebody else?
I think there was somebody else.
Oh no, it was Cerridwen like last time or something. I can't remember.
Ear sniffer.
Ear sniffer,
Yeah.
And it turned out she
Yeah,
was
that
like
was it.
bench sleeper was her actual nickname.
Apparently, she has
All right.
multiple nicknames.
Ah.
So,
Okay, so
one
explain
suck.
the story. Yeah.
Basically, we went out to a big shopping center. I didn't know that my mother wanted to go shoe shopping, and I couldn't find socks. So when we arrived, and my mother was like, okay, me and you are going to go shoe shopping, I'm like, we can't. She was like, why? I only have one sock on. Why do you only have one sock on? Because I couldn't find matching ones? And then my siblings were like, it still doesn't match.
How old were you when you did this?
12, I think.
And what was your logic at the time? You couldn't find matching socks, so you just went without one?
Yes, I was only wearing one sock.
Had you done this before, or was this the first time you'd done this little thing?
First and only time, though I am kind of known for wearing odd socks now. So I guess I learnt my lesson.
From one sock to
Do
odd
you
socks.
still get cold? Do you still get called one sock?
On occasion, I mean, there's a bit more of a popular nickname that my family goes by for us. That's only when referring to all of us. So when referring to just me, then yeah.
Be right back. My house is burning down.
Oh my god!
You
Oh,
should
no.
try to cook, Xena.
What?
See, it's his background.
Holy shit,
It's so
those lighters
casual,
have
too.
come back.
Who's burning
Hold
down
on,
his
house
house?
burned down. I'll be back.
Maybe it's his supper.
Hold on, the demon escaped its cage. Let me go get it.
Yeah, that's basically what that sounded like.
Did your siblings try and... Well, did you ask for a sock from your siblings to try on shoes?
No, we had to go and buy some.
So you are no longer odd sock.
How did you first feel getting the nickname?
Annoyed, to be honest, because it's like, they were right. They didn't match. It didn't make sense, but at the same time I was embarrassed, so I pouted. I pouted a lot. I mean,
What color was the sock?
Ich weiß nicht. I don't know.
That was a good tractor noise. Very good
That
tractor
went
noise.
on for so long, I thought you were
Great
glitching.
answer!
I'm back. Sorry about that. My fucking flatmate burnt some popcorn somehow.
Too long in the microwave.
No, he was cooking it in a saucepan. That's why.
Ah.
And it's all black and charred to the fucking bottom of it now, so I'll have fun scrubbing that out later.
It's gonna have a lovely smell.
Yeah, so much for having a non-stick fucking surface. Anyway, where were we? Sorry.
Odd sock.
One sock.
Oh
odd
yeah,
sock.
odd sock. Yeah, that was
One sock,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh no, sock.
Are we already into the voting thing, or like still got questions?
We were waiting for you to come back. You were right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Just out of breath from running down the stairs and turning the fucking smoke alarms off and stuff.
What happened?
I just said that like my flatmate burnt some popcorn. He was cooking in
Oh.
a saucepan.
Where the fuck was he? Why was he not just attending it?
Yeah, you're supposed to stay with the stuff that you've put on the pan.
He probably got distracted.
Right? You're not supposed to leave it unattended.
Well, also, if it starts to burn and you turn it off, it will continue to smoke for a bit afterwards. So even if he was like immediately turned it off, he might have whatever. I didn't interrogate him. I just literally went down there, sorted shit out, came back up because
Such a student approach.
I don't know why you can't microwave it, but whatever.
I'm gonna say the burning popcorn was a lie.
Do you want me to go get him and bring him up here as a
No,
witness?
you're good.
We will judge you. We will judge you hard.
Okay,
I mean, it depends
so-
if my mic filtered out the smoke alarm or not. You might be able to hear it beeping.
didn't.
Oh,
We could hear it.
okay.
I need to add popcorn. You burning popcorn to the artwork.
Anyway, what do I get to vote on whether or not it was a true or lie?
Yes, you do. Right. Okay.
I don't know. It was a lie. There you go.
Vladi, do you think she was lying or telling the truth?
I'll go with lie.
Cerridwen, lying or telling the truth?
This feels like a porky pie.
Clever, lying or telling the truth?
I mean, it's very vanilla. I want to say lie, but everyone else is saying lie. And maybe everybody's right. I don't know. I'm overthinking it. Lie. It's a lie.
Okay, so everybody thinks you're lying, Midnight, were you?
I was not lying.
Oh my god.
Nobody gets a point.
Man, there almost needs to be
Welcome to my world.
there almost needs to be like a thing for
Clever.
like a bonus thing if somebody manages to like trick everybody into thinking one way or
Like
the other.
they should get a point.
Yeah.
They should get a point.
That
if
figure
everyone-
that out next time, but that was actually impressive that you managed to get everybody on that.
I honestly thought I wouldn't, so thank you.
Well done.
Insert
Ah.
some misogynistic joke here about women lying.
Oh god.
I don't know.
Talk
It's
about
a
things that
misogynistic joke.
You can never tell when they're faking.
Maybe you can.
I mean-
Okay then.
Depends on what you're doing.
I can definitely say most men can't tell if you're faking.
There you go.
I mean, I'm not gonna go there with you,
But
Scribbler.
women want to be nice, so
Also, sometimes you get bored.
that's
Ooh.
You
it.
have told me stories, Scribbler. I know.
I know what
yeah.
stories I've told you. I also know what stories you've told me. This is
Yeah,
mutually assured destruction going on here.
yeah.
Right.
Bum, bum.
Clever, it's your
I
turn.
mean, never mind.
Yeah, I'm cutting you off there, because I know you
Uh-oh.
have too much blackmail material.
There, love. That was good. I enjoyed it. Let's move on.
This is what people accuse us of having, like, some sort of relationship in the past, Scribbler.
It's the fact that I nearly killed you with my boobs, yeah.
Yeah. We have
how I wanna go.
shared a bed like multiple times, I think. So
Death by schnoo.
It really was. Okay,
anyway,
Clever, there you go.
I'm still waiting.
Some people
should've come
wish for
through by
that
now.
death.
what, to be smothered by Scribbler's boobs or just boobs in general?
I think boobs
Just in general.
I was gonna say boobs in general. I mean, I guess it'd be better if it was my wife's.
I mean, yes,
Just
I think she
throw
might
that out
have
there.
words if you didn't say that if you were going to die by snoo snoo from anyone, it should be her.
Right, but like, I don't think she wants to kill me yet. So
Yeah, she's
if
just
the snoo-snoo-
She's just
if
waiting
the
for that
snoo-snoo
life
didn't
insurance
kill me,
policy.
she would. If the snoo snoo didn't kill me, she would afterwards. If it wasn't her, so then that's how that would go.
Wasn't it
That,
Henry VIII that died of like a heart attack during sex or something?
I didn't know that one. I thought he died
No,
of
he-
gout.
Yeah, he died of gout.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like
the rich
All
man's
right.
disease.
Okay, we're ready. I once accidentally bought a dune buggy.
Online or in person?
Was
It
it,
was
a toy
at-
or real, like life size?
remind me what a doom buggy is?
So a dune buggy is out here. We call them side by sides, but dune buggy is probably what you know them better as. They're like an all terrain vehicle. So ATV.
Yeah.
But the side by sides have enough room for like two people to sit side. They look like golf carts actually, but they're like way more powerful and run on gas instead of battery. So they're a bit different. I was actually at an auction, and yeah, I thought I was. They had a lot of different things out front,
What
and
did-
I got excited, and I thought I was bidding on a car that I really wanted and checked out earlier, and it turned out to be the dune buggy.
Oh, so did you go there intending to bid on a certain vehicle that you saw in the lineup, or?
Yeah, like I went to go kick some tires. This was like when I was a teenager, and I only had at the time I only had about $2,000 to my name, and no one was bidding on this thing, and it was like at $500, and I thought I was getting like the best deal ever, and yeah, it was not for the right thing. I ended up with this dune buggy. I can't
What
tell you.
brand was it?
It was a Husqvarna, and it was my friends made fun of me for like the longest time because I was trying to get a car, but what was funny though was that they didn't make fun of me when we'd take it out and just kind of go through the trails with it. They thought that was tons of fun, and I wasn't able to. It was an all sales final kind of thing, so that was. I had it for a while.
The car that you had your eyes on, what was it?
It was a 1980 Impala, so it was kind of a land yacht, and in the end, it probably would have bankrupted me in gas. But it had all of the things I wanted. Like it was a tricked out thing. It had air conditioning. It had a more recent radio. Like at the time, it was way ahead of its time. It even had like power windows and stuff. And for 1980, that was ridiculous. And so I was like, that thing looks amazing. I love it. I could probably get it for a steal. So that was one of the reasons that I I didn't question when I got the bid at 500.
Time to vote. Okay then, so Vladi, do you think he's lying or telling the truth?
I'm gonna go with lie.
Midnight, do you think he's lying or telling the truth?
Lie.
Xena, is he lying or telling the truth?
You can take it or leave it. Again, I gotta say it's true.
Cerridwen, is he lying or telling the truth?
I really don't know. See, I think I might go with. I really want to say true for some reason, but I think I'll go with lie.
Clever, were you lying or telling the truth?
They're on to me, Scribbler. I was lying.
Oh my
I knew it!
god.
Booyah!
So
Haha!
Cerridwen's
but
in the
my-
lead with 5 points, Midnight second with 4, Clever with 3, and then Xena and Vladi both in last place.
At 2.
Xena,
Hey!
I will tell you that my first car was a 1980 Impala with all that cool stuff.
I should have known, because no way you're gonna buy like a working Husqvarna side by side for $2,000. Like,
Well, I got it for 500, man. In my lie.
man.
Dune buggies are so weird looking, but then I looked up what my uncle had, which apparently he had a bubble car, and those look like bloated goldfish
Oh my
cars.
god, bubble cars, I've forgotten them, but they existed.
Oh my god, there are some. Do you guys, before they became collectible, like actually seeing the free-wheeled cars around?
The Reliant Robins!
Yes,
Oh,
Yes, my
God.
neighbour had one when I was growing up.
and they were the cheapest pieces of goddamn shit, and nobody
Yeah,
looked
because they
after
fell
them.
over all the time.
They were horrible, but now that they've become like collectible air quotes, people like they're expensive and you can't find them anywhere.
Like the DeLorean.
Yeah, the DeLorean was a piece of shit back in the day. It was made out of spare
Yeah.
parts,
And
basically.
people liked it purely because of Back to the Future.
Yeah, that's it.
Which is a good reason. That is a good
Fair
reason to
enough.
like
Yeah,
it.
it kind of. Never mind. I was gonna make a comparison to a modern vehicle, but fuck that. Anyway, next bit.
Okay. It is Cerridwen's turn next.
Ah, crap. I briefly worked as a tour guide for a museum about the history of sex.
Was this in
Oh?
Amsterdam by any chance?
You'd think it would be.
Where was this then?
In one of my local towns, which I don't want to share.
How did you get the job?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you have to-
are they still taking applicants?
Interview
was-
by.
Like, what was
I
that interview
was-
like?
I was suggested by a friend, which I am going to not name, and yeah.
What? So it was like an odd job sort of thing?
It wasn't a summer job. No, it was a brief job.
Briefs.
So was it an actual museum or was it just a like presentation thing? You know, where they do like a temporary like thing at a town hall?
It was a part of the museum, so it wasn't like a permanent fixture, luckily, but it was just did not enjoy. Moved swiftly on.
What were
Did it-
the exhibits
Did you know
about?
what it was before taking the job?
So they had switched from one exhibition to the other, and this came on like we've done history of this, and now we're going to we're going to switch to that. Like oh, great.
Do you remember any details about what was covered?
Or uncovered?
Yes, there were many mannequins. I had to put-
Mannequins?
yes, history of sex. Different positions, talking about the history of those positions, which cultures culminated them first, like going from Japan and Egypt, and it was interesting. But my brain has like internalized them and shoved them away.
But how would they know which one came first? And I don't mean that funnily now that I've said it out loud.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's theorized.
And there are
one more
some
minute.
writings.
Did they have like a copy of the Karma Sutra?
Yes, they did. It was lovingly detailed, and I had to watch it like a hawk.
What was the best question you got asked?
Can I touch that?
That's a good question.
No, you can't. You cannot touch the vulva.
Now, that should be a clip taken out of context in advertising this particular...
You mean that little bit that just goes at the start of the podcast to make people go, what the fuck?
Yep, just out of context. You can't touch the vulva.
Oh, God. And on that note, you've got about 30 seconds.
How long did you work there for? You said just the summer?
Yeah, it's just the summer. So it was about 3 or 4 months.
And what age were you?
I think I was about 19 at the time, and God.
Did you learn a lot?
I did, but like I said, I've pushed it to the back of my mind because it was just one of those tricky exhibitions.
Vietnam flashbacks.
What were you particularly puritanical at that point, or just inexperienced, or what? Because you've said some somewhat perverted stuff here, so I don't think you're that squeamish.
I know, but I'm of a different age now. I was I don't want to give anything away, but I didn't meet my first proper boyfriend till I was about 18 or 19. So this was very wow.
Okay, time to vote. Okay, Clever, do you think she's lying or telling the truth?
I want it to be true. I'm going to go with true. I part of me says lie, but I'm going with true.
Midnight, lying or telling the truth?
I'll also say true.
Xena, lying or telling the truth?
Fuck.
That is not one of the options.
That's what it's about, yes.
Or not fuck, because I'd rather not.
I'll
fuck
say
or not to fuck.
true, I guess. I want it to be true.
Vladi, are you going to make this a quartet of truths, or are you going to go on a limb and say lie?
I'm gonna say true.
So everybody thinks it's true? Cerridwen, was it truth or lie?
It was a big fucking lie.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Damn it, I knew the whole 18, 19... okay.
Well done.
Sorry, I didn't
So the
I didn't
scores
hear.
remain
Was it true?
unchanged. No, it was a
Oh,
lie.
it was a lie. Oh.
Oh, Scribbler, that was evil.
I couldn't help it. You said the word museum at work, and I'm like, fuck, I've got to use this one.
It was too plausible.
It was
Wait.
too plausible. Also,
Very
you
nice.
did manage to fool everybody,
Somehow.
because you sounded so deeply uncomfortable with the entire concept.
That was some typecasting right there.
I do love the fact that you literally read an entire fanfic about Twilight staring at Applejack's ass that was nothing but butt jokes, and then the moment you went to Sex Museum, you're like, oh,
I was like, yeah, I know Cerridwen's kind of not a pervert, but she doesn't mind lewd jokes. So the idea of her just being aghast at that was oh well.
Oh, talking about it is absolutely fine. When you have something very graphic next to you and you're giving a guide about it, just imagine for a second, you've got
It was a lie that this didn't happen.
I know, but it's now created. Look what you did, Scribbler.
She's
It's now-
internalized
You
it.
traumatized her with just the lie.
She's trauma dumping now. Poor Cerridwen.
Yeah,
Gave the poor thing PTSD.
she's confusing reality and fiction now.
I'm just very glad this didn't really happen. But I mean, 18, 19-year-old me would be sort of on the cusp of, how did I survive this?
Oh, the PTSD would be porn traumatic disorder.
Oh,
Set me up for BDSM.
Oy.
I mean, that might explain some things about certain people.
Okay, let's go on to round 2 now. So round 2 is, well, I've decided that going forward, we're not going to do quickfire lies. It's going to be instead a selection of, I tell you something that seems either true or a lie about a certain theme, and you guys have, say, 1 or 2 minutes to debate amongst yourselves whether or not you think it's true. It's still kind of quickfire, but it's not the traditional quickfire lies round. Sound good?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
All right.
we'll see how it goes.
Give it a shot.
Well, given that this is going to go out in either March or April, I decided the first one is going to be springtime, because at Christmas
Springtime.
we did a Christmas-themed one.
Springtime for Hitler.
And
It's
Elon
Elon
Musk.
for
What the fuck?
Elon and Trump and a little bit
The
of
bump.
everybody
It's
else. thrown in there.
winter for... Yeah.
What the fuck timeline am I in where I'm agreeing with Mike Pence and fucking Boris Johnson? What the hell?
Right?
Can we go back to poop jokes, please?
Well, okay. So, one's about Easter and springtime. Okay?
Springtime.
Okay, enough. All right.
Enough to
Fertility.
get me into the other politics, please.
Fertility.
In Alaska, spring brings real ice worms that melt if it gets too warm. They live in glaciers and die if the temperature rises above freezing. Is this true, or is this a lie? You have 1 minute to discuss.
Well, hang on. They melt?
I'm sorry, ice worms?
I'm not
Can I hear
explaining
that again?
nothing.
Fuck?
I'll read it out again, but I'm not explaining a thing. In Alaska, spring brings real ice worms that melt if it gets too warm. These tiny worms live inside glaciers and die if temperatures rise above freezing. True or false?
It's a giant Alaskan bullworm.
I would have believed everything right up until they melt. I can't. Yeah.
I have
No.
to agree there. They can't melt. No.
Like
No. Why
would they
physically
melt?
melt or just die? Do you mean?
Again, she's not commenting.
I'm not explaining.
Why does
get
my
the statement,
brain-
That's it.
The thing is, I know for a fact that there are glacier worms, but I don't know about them melting when the temperature gets up.
Yeah,
I
I'm
literally
gonna,
read about something about this this week, so this is poor timing.
Well, I mean, I can find things about worms just about anywhere, but the whole melting thing, that's the part that I can't abide by. I can't abide by it.
Yeah, same here.
Melting, maybe if they just died, then fair enough, but melt, nah.
Yeah.
What if
no,
they're just candied versions?
well,
That's weird. That's a weird theory
Like,
there.
they wouldn't melt if they were just candy. Like, you'd have to be like stupid hot.
Unless she means, like, you know how worms, whenever they eat, they poop out things that look like worms, but they're excrements? So, could it be that they poop out snow that looks like worms and then those worms melt?
That's-
It could be.
That's a pretty far.
Yeah, it could be the I can't remember what it's called, but like the remnants that worms leave behind. But yeah,
Hold on,
The
hold on.
casings.
yeah,
Can we get
casing.
the statement one more time?
You can, and then you've got to vote. In Alaska,
Okay.
spring brings real ice worms that melt if it gets too warm. These tiny worms live inside glaciers and die if temperatures rise above freezing.
That's different.
Okay, so it is like an
No,
actual
I
worm and
literally
not
read
just
the
something
same
called an
thing.
ice worm. Okay.
Oh, okay. If they die, not just melt, but yeah, I'd say if it's die and not melt, then
No,
I would
it
say
literally says they melt if it gets too warm.
Yeah. So I'm
I'm-
gonna go with lie.
Okay, so we're voting apparently. Clever, you're saying a lie.
Lie.
Cerridwen, lie or truth?
Lie?
Midnight, lie or truth?
Lie.
Xena, lie or truth?
if it's melt, then it's a lie. If it's die, then it's true.
Let's melt. Vladi, lie or truth?
You know, nature is scary. I'm gonna go with true.
That means you're the only one who gets a point because it's 100%
Oh
true.
my god.
Oh,
Melt?
How does a worm melt?
I
It's
don't
a
know.
giant
melt.
Alaskan bullworm.
So Vladi's finally got a point and Xena's in last place.
Yay!
So Cerridwen's still in the lead with 5. Midnight catching up with 4. Clever and Vladi have both got 3, and Xena's lurking in last place with 2.
Come on, Xena, you can do it.
I'm looking this up. I'm incredulous.
You can look it up. I did my research for this. Second
want some-
statement then. In Switzerland, a snowman is blown up to predict summer weather. During the Sechsschleuten festival, a snowman called the Boog is stuffed with explosives, and the faster it blows up, the hotter the summer will be. I'll say that one more time, and then you can discuss. In Switzerland, a snowman. Run, the last one. A snowman is blown up to predict summer weather. During the Sechsschleuten festival, a snowman called the Boog is stuffed with explosives, and the faster it blows up, the hotter the summer will be. You have 1 minute to discuss.
Not The boog.
Okay, the first time you said that, I didn't catch the snow part, and I thought they pick a random guy to blow up.
It nearly
like
was.
the
I
Swedish-
spoke the second time I said a slow man. Like, everybody races, and the last one is the boog.
Swedish guy thoughts,
Whoever
but
gets
snowman.
caught gets blown up.
I mean, you Americans have the groundhog that you say determines summer or whatever, right?
Yeah, if it sees its shadow.
Such a weird fucking tradition.
Hey, not as weird as blowing up a snowman. And you'd think that would be the American one.
But I know there's other places that also have something similar, like, but they're all animals as far as I was aware, so it's a bit odd this one's a snowman.
There is that one where they drive cars off the edge of a cliff for like spring or whatever.
Oh, Jesus Christ, there's the worms.
I want to know how old this tradition is. Because, like, yeah. How long have they been doing this for?
I mean, that we haven't got that information, so I mean,
I
dynamite.
can picture people doing this, but not being like a nationwide tradition.
I feel like this is an Alaskan thing,
Yeah, I
except
know
for the
that
name.
I could see that.
explosive laws in Alaska are a lot more lax because they use a lot of it for like mining and also for hunting whales and such because they have like explosive tipped like harpoons and stuff, so their laws are a little bit more lax. But
Makes sense.
I just can't picture the Swedes doing this. They're too
No,
nice.
because it's the Swiss.
The
I
Swiss,
know-
sorry.
I know that Sweden is also like the
It's Switzerland. It's Switzerland.
It's Switzerland?
Yeah.
Scenic Switzerland.
Huh.
I'm sorry.
They're
alright.
vicious. They poke holes in
So
the
you said
cheese. I can
Switzerland
see them.
instead of
No, I've said Switzerland all hello.
okay, that's different.
Yeah, in Switzerland, a snowman is blown up to predict summer weather during the Sechsschleuten festival. A snowman called the Boog is stuffed with explosives, and the faster it blows up, the hotter the summer will be.
I don't get faster. Like, I don't get that.
I mean, if they're
I didn't
using
get melting before, but I don't get like how is it going to blow up faster?
I mean,
How
if,
big those snow crystals are, I guess, and how
Yeah.
compacted it is with the explosives.
yeah,
But if you're
'cause-
using like a high velocity explosive, it's going to be there and gone.
yeah, but if it's black powder, that can fizzle and then pop instead. Sometimes depends how traditional they're going with it, I guess.
Or like if they don't use quite enough explosive to make it like totally fall apart, and then they have to like do it a few more times.
Yeah, if they get damp, it might not explode quite right as well. So,
Are you guys ready to vote?
1 second. What time did you say that
She's-
they
spring.
do this?
Springtime.
They do this in springtime.
Yep. It's blown up to predict the summer weather, and it's done at the beginning of spring.
It's a blowing it up real good. It just
Ready to go,
doesn't-
guys?
Yeah.
Okay, clever. Is it a lie or is it truth?
You're gonna get me again, but I think it's a lie.
Cerridwen, lie or truth?
Let's go with true, just for funsies.
Midnight, lie or truth?
I'm gonna say lie.
Xena, lie or truth?
It seems so crazy, but I'll beat the. I'll go somewhere else opposed to everybody else because I need the points. I'm gonna say it's true.
Vladi, lie or truth?
I'm gonna go with lie.
It is 100% true. Really?
Oh my god!
God damn!
Yes, I recover
Seriously?
a point.
What the?
Yeah,
Well
it
done,
really
Xena.
does happen. I've probably absolutely butchered the names there, and I apologise to any Swiss fans that we have.
I can't believe
Honestly-
that worked.
It sounds
Honestly,
pretty
it
good.
was the-
Follow what
it was the
Cerridwen does,
names.
because she's got 6 points.
I don't know what I'm doing, but it's working.
You're winning, girl.
That's a
I-
rarity.
Are you winning, son?
Today's not my day.
It's all good. But the points don't mean anything apart from, everything, yeah.
Right. Next one. The Netherlands hosts a parade of 20-foot tall floating flower sculptures. The Blumencorso Bollenstreek is a springtime parade where gigantic floats made entirely of tulips, hyacinths, and daffodils roll through the streets.
I like how we're just going through the Nordic countries and exposing all of our ignorance of all of their springtime
when I was
stuff.
doing this research, there's a fuck ton in Germany, but Midnight's very much got an advantage there.
Honestly, I don't, but alright. Sure.
Also, fuck you, Clever, there's so many Canadian ones I can't do. Like, all of the springtime ones are Germany and Canada, and I'm just going through going, can't use that, can't use that,
Yeah.
fucking hell.
Kanakistan is very weird, so, you know.
Kanakistan?
Yeah. Kanakistan.
Honestly, there's a good chance you could do an American one. I'd still be like, huh, do we do that?
To be honest, there weren't that many American ones for springtime. There were a ton for Easter, but not for springtime. Right, I'll read it through one more time, and then you guys can debate. The Netherlands hosts a parade of 20-foot-tall floating flower sculptures. The Blumencorso Bullenstreek is a springtime parade where gigantic floats made entirely of tulips, hyacinths, and daffodils roll through the streets. 1 minute, off you go.
I don't fucking know.
The floating part kind of throws me off. Like, are they on balloons or something?
They could be floating in
It gets
water.
me wondering.
They don't say if they're real
water
or not.
20 feet up?
I am not
I guess possible, but it's
qualifying
weird.
anything. If you need me to read it again, I can, but I can't explain anything.
It could be potential, like if they're fake plants and then they're extra floaty. I don't know.
It seems quite plausible, honestly, to my mind.
And the Netherlands, like I was in Amsterdam last year. They do love their flowers. They do love tulips.
Yeah, they're big on
Yeah.
I'm surprised there weren't any cows.
They
Put it
basically,
on-
they
like
basically
cows
have
too.
their own version of Mardi Gras, basically, right?
Put it on a hovercraft, it's gonna float.
Mate glass.
My trust in my own gut sense is completely gone. You've done it, Scribbler. I don't trust myself anymore.
Gaslight. Sounds
Ditto.
You've become David Mitchell.
I just
The
don't know
gaslighting
anymore.
is real.
This is like basically the gaslight in the game, basically. Yeah.
It is.
Yep, it is.
Would I lie to you? The answer is yes. We would all lie. But are we lying now?
Are we lying successfully, though?
Honestly lying? Yes.
I tell you what, before this this game show, I wasn't checking my door was locked 5 times in a row.
I really have no idea.
I'm just gonna go with whatever.
I don't know, just something always sounds fishy, but then it always turns out to be true. I don't know.
All right, you might as well ask us. I don't think we're getting
Yeah.
anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah,
Clever.
brain is gone.
Clever. Is this true or false?
I think you're trying to psych me out here, so I'm gonna go false.
Cerridwen, true or false?
I think this might be true. Never mind if it's not. It doesn't matter. It's just a game.
Midnight,
It
true or false?
says you got the points to lose.
I think I'll say true. Something's twigging something in the back of my brain.
Xena, true or false?
Twig.
It almost feels too plausible to be true, but I'm just gonna go with it. Sometimes these are simpler. I'm gonna say it's true.
Vladi, true or false?
I'm just gonna say false.
It is true.
Of course.
Of course.
Yay!
Which means Cerridwen is still in the lead with 7, but this time Midnight has got 5. Xena is in 3rd place, and
Whoa.
Clever and Vladi are tied for last place.
I recovered some points.
What a surprise! The ignorant American, North American.
One
Sorry,
of us.
forget Canada.
One of us. Oh.
Right. Another one? Because Clever has made a big point of saying, oh, the Nordic countries, I'm going to go somewhere else now.
Uh-huh.
Japan has a festival where people carry giant phallic statues in spring. Every April, the Kanamura Matsuri, a festival of the steel phallus, celebrates fertility and protection from STDs with enormous penis-shaped floats. I'll read that again.
Nice.
Japan has a festival where people carry giant phallic statues in spring. Every April, the Kanamura Matsuri, the festival of the steel phallus, celebrates fertility and protection from STDs with enormous penis-shaped floats. True or false? 1 minute.
Why isn't this on every anime I've ever watched? Like, they go out of their way to embarrass the main characters. This would be perfect.
Now hold on. I may be American, but I am a Japanese nerd, and I know for a fact this is true. I have seen footage of this statue.
I also have seen that, yes.
This might
This
be...
is 100% true.
Can I say
It's
why?
a whole documentary on it.
Can I say why I think it's true? It's
Yeah.
because there is an artist who decided to make a kayak of her vagina in response to this.
A kayak, you
Yeah.
say?
A
a
kayak,
canoe.
a boat. of her vagina in retaliation of like a whole festival to the penis, but nothing because the vagina is the vulva is a taboo.
Okay,
Makes
then.
sense.
Are you guys
like
ready to
this.
vote then?
Very
Yeah, I've
fuzzy,
never
yes.
I know I lie a lot, but this is the one time I ask that you trust me. This is real.
Or is she putting you all off?
Yeah,
In
is
which
she
case,
gaslighting
I
us?
am going to ask
You-
Vladi last, in case she has fooled all of you lots of voting wrong. So, Clever, is it true or false?
I mean,
Is Vladi
Fine.
playing the long game
you
here?
know what? You know what? If she's wrong, then I get to be in last place. True.
Clever, believe in me. Come on, please. I gave
saying
you
true.
my.
I'm saying true.
Yay!
Midnight, true or false?
I'm also saying true.
Xena, true or false?
I'm gonna say it's true.
Cerridwen, true or false?
True.
Vladi, true or false?
True.
And you all got a point, because yes, it is true.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Yay!
Thank
Nothing
you for believing.
changes.
It is a funny parade. They do all sorts of different decorations, not just the one.
I need to go find that artist.
Free the vulva instead of free the nipple.
Even the food is shaped in ways.
Is
I
everything
remember
on a
correctly.
stick?
Yes.
It's everything on a stick.
Yep.
It's even better than I imagined.
Oh, God.
Well, you better
That
share
witch's
in
cackle
chat.
from Vladi.
This is going to be anybody who's not in this podcast going, the fuck are they talking about? There's been a Swan, Pucca, and now this.
Oh my.
This is like your after dark
I told
podcast,
you.
basically.
It's real. I'm not hallucinating.
I like how it's a replica.
And she sold merchandise of it as well. She made it into a character.
Is
You go,
Sharing
girl.
question?
Sharing
course.
3D instructions to create a do-it-yourself version was a crime. That's I'm aghast.
Power to the pussy.
Power to the pussy.
Yeah, this is
Oh my God,
required
that's such an
homework at
aggressive
this
one.
point. All the women in here have to go make a canoe of their own cunt.
Sorry.
But of course, tricky to find is where the clit is in there.
Not that tricky if you're good at it.
Tricky, 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 tricky.
Tricky dicky.
Ricky,
mean-
ticky, tappy.
Some females have bigger ones than others.
Yes,
Just saying.
I
Yeah.
know this for a fact, yes.
So the next one is the Easter Bunny tradition began with a medieval German cult that worshipped giant hares. I'll say that again.
Sounds
The
plausible.
Easter Bunny tradition began with a medieval German cult that worshipped giant hares. I'm taking you at your word, Midnight, that you don't know stuff about German springtime celebrations.
Hang on.
Wait.
One
One more
last
time.
time.
One more time. The Easter Bunny tradition began with a medieval German cult that worshipped giant hares. Hares.
See, I
Makes sense.
recently read about how hares were seen as like a bad omen. Not
Which
just
is why you should eat them.
they weren't just like a symbol of fertility, but also death. In fact, in Egypt, hares were seen as like a symbol of death. So it's possible.
Like, I know that Christianity stole everything from like other religions to try and attract believers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like a Christmas tree being like the tree like spirit they would worship and stuff.
yeah. So I mean, I just don't know about the timing / place and religion. Like, if someone said, "Hey, yeah, this was taken from another religion," I'd be like, totally believe it. But it was Germany. Oh, okay, yeah, I Christmas, yeah, sure, okay. But medieval times. Well, hang on. That was sort of after Christianity spread throughout Europe, isn't it? Like, is my timeline wrong?
Depends. I don't know.
Did they just watch Donnie Darko and get like really obsessed with the? Has anybody else seen that movie?
Yeah,
I've-
apparently
Yeah.
it's the rabbit in that's supposed to be like alluding to like a puka or something, from what I heard.
Yeah, I don't know. These have all been true so far. I'm kind of waiting for the false one. But of
Well,
course,
that's the thing, yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
But
psychic?
this also just
Specifically,
sounds
am
so
I
plausible.
psyching you out
Yes,
by making
well, you do all the
everything
time.
true?
That's
Because that
every.
does sound like something I would do.
Yes,
I
we
was
all
gonna say-
worship the evil hair
And then is
demon.
she trying to psych us out by hinting that it could be true to make us think that it is a lie?
Yeah, I don't know what's true anymore.
Would you like
My brain
to?
hurts.
Yeah.
Would you like to vote?
Yeah.
Might as well.
Okay.
Rip the band-aid off already, woman.
Okay then, Vladi, you go first. True or
Wow.
false?
You.
I'll say true.
Xena, true or false?
I would say true.
Midnight, is it a truth or a lie?
I don't know.
That is not an option.
Ich weiß nicht. Is that an option? Plausible, but false? I think. I don't know.
So you're saying false?
I'll say false, just because... Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think
Cerridwen, true or false?
I'm squinting at this real hard mentally, but I think it's true? Question mark?
Clever, true or false?
I don't know anymore.
Follow me,
False.
please.
False.
It is false.
Oh my god.
The Easter Bunny does
Ah.
indeed have German origins, but there was never a medieval cult that worshipped oversized rabbits.
I wonder.
Alright, fair enough.
Which means
So the Easter Bunny is German?
it is.
Okay.
It does have German origins, yes.
Ooh.
Cerridwen, you're still in the lead with 5, 6, 7, 8 points. Midnight, you've got 7. Xena and Clever are tied for third with 5, and Vladi's lurking with 4.
Lurking.
Come on, Vladi, you can do it. Come on, Vladi!
Oh, right now I'm the one cartoon of like the guy in like last place who's like getting the champagne like, yeah, suck it. I'm in last place, bitches.
They will know my name.
Well,
And we all have to wait for you.
let's keep with the Easter Bunny theme. Australia has an Easter Bunny rival. In Australia, the traditional Easter Bunny is often replaced by the Easter bilby, a small marsupial to raise awareness about endangered native species. I'll say that again. Australia has an Easter Bunny rival. In Australia, the traditional Easter Bunny is often replaced by the Easter bilby, a small marsupial to raise awareness about endangered native species. You have 1 minute.
This, first of all, Australia isn't real. Second of all, this does sound like
It's terrible.
some out of touch like government thing that they would do.
Don't you have a partner in Australia?
Kind of.
Yeah, like
He's
what are you doing
gaslighting
saying it's not
us.
real. Yeah, you're saying it's not real.
He's gaslighting us!
I will point out the fact that there is a cartoon called The Guardians that has Hugh Jackman, an Australian, using his natural accent as the Easter Bunny.
I was gonna say, like, did the Legend of the Guardians lie to us?
Oh, I forgot about that. But they are very, very, like, animal protection thing, aren't they, down there? Like, they
If you
don't...
believe Steve Irwin, not that he was Australian because they don't exist.
What is with this? I don't understand why you're behaving this
True.
way.
I do want to go into conspiracy theory territory because I'm not sure about an Easter Bunny like rival. It sounds plausible, but I have heard for sure that there are different variants of like the Tooth Fairy. So she might have just taken something like that and twisted, say, "Oh no, it's against the Easter Bunny," and that could
Well-
be enough to make it a lie.
I know that in Australia they've got that song called Six White Boomers, where they've replaced Santa's reindeer with kangaroos.
Giant white kangaroos, yes, boomers.
Yes. And-
Seriously?
I was thinking it
Yeah.
was just some angry white men.
That's
It's
what I
like,
was
okay,
thinking.
boomer.
That's- yeah, I was
felt
gonna
like I had to
say.
explain that one.
because of course at Christmas it's summertime down there, so too hot for the reindeer. But for just replacing it with a marsupial and to raise awareness, that would have to be a pretty recent thing because no one gave a fuck about awareness about animals up until like 40 years ago.
Yeah, they'll just like
Makes
kill
sense,
them
yeah.
all. Who gives a fuck?
Oh, God.
Are we ready to
Lovely.
vote?
Yeah.
I guess?
Okay then. So, Cerridwen, do you think it's truth or lie?
I'm gonna go with lie?
Clever, truth or lie?
I'm thinking. And thinking it's true.
Midnight, truth or lie?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a ticker by the toe. If it screams, let it go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. True.
Xena, truth or lie?
Like I said, this sounds like one of those out of touch things a government would do to try and like get the public to like give a fuck about something. So I'm gonna say it's true.
Vladi, truth or lie?
I'm going to trust my conspiracy theory and say this is a lie.
Sorry, Vladi, it is true.
God damn it!
It is true, which means Midnight and Cerridwen now have equal points.
Oh,
Ooh.
goodness.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. And
Are you ready for one more?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
let's do it.
Let's
Bring
do
it on.
One more.
One more.
Encore.
17 more. 17 more.
Okay,
Wait, what?
Greek. We'll go for Greece now. Greek
Ooh.
Greek.
Orthodox Easter involves dynamite. On the Greek island of Chios, rival churches engage in a rocket war called Rocketopolemos, firing homemade rockets at each other's bell towers on Easter Eve. I'll read that again, and I'll try not to butcher the name this time. Greek Orthodox Easter involves dynamite. On the Greek island of, I've dropped my pen, of Chios, rival churches engage in a rocket war, Rocketopolemos, firing homemade rockets at each other's bell towers on Easter Eve. And no, that's not code for their bollocks. It's the actual bell towers.
Easter Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Sit back and watch as we have Rocketopolis.
Yeah, I do like the name. They've got
That does sound pretty sick.
They got the
Imagine,
name
like,
down.
you can tell, like, if you hear a ding, they're like, yes, got a point.
Church versus church.
But if they miss, they destroy the other church.
I mean, if it's just like a paper, like cardboard tube, like most rockets are, it's not going to do anything when it hits. So I could see that being, just a playful thing.
I like
It
to
really
imagine-
depends on what type of rocket.
'Cause most rockets, I know from ridiculous shit that I've done, that like after about 2 seconds they're like literally just empty, and it's just like momentum carrying them. So
I like to imagine like there's like actual like demonic demons and like they see that they're like, what the fuck is going on? These fuckers are crazy.
Also, who's funding for the reparations? Is this coming straight out for like the Sunday Kitty?
We already had the snowman that blew up. Now is this another just thing that? Okay, Europeans, are you all just explosive people? What's going on here?
I mean, you
Guy
guys.
Fawkes,
Explains the Americans. It does.
I do like
really.
Guy Fawkes.
It would, honestly.
I do like that Guy Fawkes is literally just like fuck the government day.
No, it was like fuck the monarchy.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, which pretty much was the government at the time.
I love the idea of the Greeks getting together and like blowing shit up for Easter.
I mean, normally they're
But-
blowing each other's backs out, so
Ooh,
I mean, there's a reason why it's called doing it Greek style.
boy.
Now I'm just thinking of my big fat Greek wedding, and now I can just see it in my head.
As you know, everything is Greek.
It sounds fun, but this world is cursed, so I don't know whether or not that's true.
I
Also,
want
aren't
this
those
to be true.
places usually very close together and stuff?
Also,
So-
like, it almost sounds too cool, though. That
It's too cool to be Christian.
yeah,
it's just too cool.
well,
Yeah,
you're talking about Catholics,
true.
which are very traditional and very like stuck in their ways. I don't give a.
Well, these are the Orthodox.
They can be very strange.
They can be.
They
And
can
they
have-
have had a lot of conflicts in the past with cannons and blowing each other up all the time, so this might be just like a nod to that.
Are you all ready to vote?
I'm ready to vote.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Vladi, do you think this is true or false?
I'm wearing my I want to believe shirt and I'm going to go against my better judgment and say true because I want this to be true.
Xena, true or false?
I want it to be true. The reality is you'll choose your own adventure nowadays, so yeah, I'll say it's true.
Midnight, true or false?
Fuck it. True.
Cerridwen, true or false?
I want this to be true, but the name sounds ridiculous, so I'm going to say lie.
Some of that literally could have been my pronunciation. Clever, true or false?
I like the name so much, I want it to be true. Rocktopolis! Rocktopolis!
I mean, it's Rockatopolomus.
It does sound
Whatever.
Does sound like
Rockatopolis!
what would be introduced at a like monster truck rally or something.
I know. You just want to scream it out. Rockatopolis!
Ladies and gentlemen,
Clever
put your hands
voice.
together for Rockatopolis as it jumps 15 like school buses or something.
Yes,
50
it's
churches.
true.
It also does remind me of that one city from a cartoon called Crapopolis.
Oh my.
Oh, God, yeah.
Well-
we watched that.
So true. True.
Sorry,
I don't
Cerridwen,
care what
everybody
you-
else got a
I
point.
don't
You
care.
didn't. It is true.
Oh wow,
Oh,
It's true.
it's true.
It's absolutely
Wow.
true.
Yes!
You can look up
That's
Kaios
right.
and see footage of it.
That was a complete guess from me. I was just like, I want it to be true, so here you go. And then it
You
The
was.
name was
manifested
just
it.
too good.
That does
The
mean
name was too
Midnight's
good.
in the lead now. She's got 9.
Ooh, what?
Yep, Midnight's in the lead with 9.
Wow.
Cerridwen second with 8. Then we have Xena with Xena and Clever with 7, and Vladi in the last place with 5. Would you
Wow,
like to do a final one before we go?
I mean, a lot of us are like tied, so let's do another.
We'll do our final one then.
This could be the decider.
final question.
Okay. Keeping with the theme of explosives that seems to have followed us through this episode.
And spring.
Yeah, explosive spring. There is a town in Italy that explodes a cart for good luck in springtime. Florence
A cart?
celebrates Scoppio del Carro, the explosion of the cart, by blowing up a cart filled with fireworks to ensure a good harvest. So there's a town in Italy that explodes a cart for good luck. Florence celebrates Scoppio del Carro, explosion of the cart, blowing up a cart filled with fireworks to ensure a good harvest. You have 1 minute to debate whether or not you think this is true or if I am fucking lying to you.
This is like the start of Lord of the Rings with fucking Gandalf coming in. Apart from the entire cart just explodes. So
Wasn't that
fun.
Pippin and Merry though? Swear that was them fucking about and exploding everything all at once by accident.
It was.
Yeah, later on, but that wasn't in the cart though.
I really need to do a big rewatch of all the Lord of the Rings.
I've been to Florence.
Starry Flame has not seen it and she refuses to. So I'm
Why
just gonna
does she
say
refuse to?
I don't know.
She wants to be special.
She plays D&D. She likes high fantasy shit, but she won't watch it for some fucking reason.
Nice.
And,
I've never
and the reason why I'm
some-
saying this is because she's probably going to listen to this at some point, and I'm just going to use this to
Sorry, watch it. We're all gonna judge you if you don't.
Somebody
Hey.
scarred her with a line or something?
be like, I don't know. Although it is like taking like 7 hours of your life out to watch them, but still, it's worth it.
I was gonna say
I've never
worth it.
seen it all the way through. I probably should do that.
Yeah, you should.
Yes, you should.
Well,
You
if you
two-
include the new movies, it's going to be like 9 hours now. So
Wow. I've been to Florence.
I've done
getting
longer
back,
animes.
and it's a pretty urban area. I don't know. I don't know that. I mean, maybe once upon a time, and maybe they carried it forward.
I mean,
I'm just
maybe
trying
they
to
would do
think.
it in like a cobblestone market square or something.
In
Well, they have-
Florence.
They have a good market in Florence. I'm just trying to think, because it was a fairly big town. There's lots of art. Like that's where the statue of David is held. Some of the best tiramisu I've ever had in my life was there. It's really urban, and I don't know. Like my
Is there no-
understanding. Go ahead.
Is there no river or anything? Why is my... Because I mentally don't know the area, so I'm just blanking here.
I don't recall if there's a river nearby. I would assume that that there would be, because that's just where larger cities conglomerate around. Yeah, I don't know. I'm at odds with this one.
Hold on, were any of these lightning round ones false? Yeah, so
Yeah.
far?
Yeah,
Okay,
the
there was a
German
false
Yeah,
one
there
one,
has
okay.
been some. Yeah, I said I might be working with you all, but I have actually put some false ones in.
I was wondering about that. Okay, so
Yeah,
that would have been
it
funny
gets
if
past
it
a
was
certain
all
point.
true, and it's like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
did she just tell us that and
Like-
just we screwed
Don't-
ourselves
It would have
over?
been
There was
funny, but a
the-
bit too predictable.
There
Yeah,
was the demon
been
hair
funny.
cult, if I remember. Was that the right?
That
Was
was
the
the
one
right-
about the
was a
hair
false
cult.
We already had 2 real explosion ones. Is this this one just writing the coattail of it, or is it another true one?
I
I
know.
don't know.
and
The
she-
Italians do like to get rowdy.
They are
Not
kind
that
of.
I'm being racist or anything.
No, they do.
We
it's usually about
already established it's not racist to mock the Italians. It's fine. They
We
side.
also
It's
established everyone's a
me.
little racist.
Oh my
It's
god.
me, Mario.
Are we ready to vote?
Oh my.
And rockets are a very phallic symbol, and banging is also connected to sex. So there you go.
I mean, I don't know if altar boys are involved, but anyway.
Whoa.
Sorry, let's go.
There's symbolism
Whoa.
either way.
All right.
I guess ready as we'll ever be.
Yeah.
Okay then, so Cerridwen,
Let's go for the truth.
Clever,
I'm gonna say false.
Midnight,
I'll say true.
Xena,
I'm gonna say again. I can manifest it. Does it sound cool? Yeah. Do I want it to be true? Yes. Is it true? Probably not. But I'm gonna say yeah, it's true.
Vladi.
Heck, I'll go with true.
That means everybody except Clever gets a point because it's true.
Oh wow.
Ah,
They really do
Yay!
blow up a cart filled with fireworks to ensure a good harvest.
Apparently, all of Europe is.
Yeah, when I was doing the research for this, I was like, fucking hell, there's quite a lot of
I thought
exploding
like
stuff.
explosive laws are pretty tight normally, so getting permission to do something like
I
that.
suppose when it's like done by the local council, I imagine it would be like it's so much strict conditions and stuff.
I mean, also you've got to think the Vatican is basically a dictatorship, so if they want to do something, they can make it happen. So
You guys should come to Germany on New Year's. It goes nuts.
I remember
Setting off fireworks in the streets.
being in Holland when it was the millennium. It was literally the year 2000, and my mum had managed to get the week beforehand a last-minute vacation to this holiday house, and we had no idea what we were in for. It was the sky lit up. It was just pure white for about an hour.
I mean, we blew up a bunch of shit with that one New Year's, if you remember.
I do remember. I've still got the footage of that.
Yeah, we put loads of those firecrackers down that pipe and shit, didn't we? And threw
You
it in the
did. I
bucket.
stood well back and watched.
Yeah, I gave you the smoke bomb though. I think you held on to
Yeah. No, I didn't. I think I put it back in your bag.
that. Okay.
He was planting stuff on you. Right, final scores. In last place, we have Vladi with 6 points.
Yay!
In second to last
sipping.
place with 7 points, we have Clever.
Woohoo!
In third place, we have Xena with 8 points.
Oh wow, I'm not last. Yay.
In second place, we have Cerridwen with 9 points. But in first place with the highest score we've ever had is Midnight with 10 points. Hey,
job.
round of
Yay! Well done.
That's the first time I've won of these. Nice.
Yay!
Thank you.
I like how I say round of applause and only Vladi clapped.
I had to do
Thank
one
you,
hand clap.
Vladi.
There we go. Clap, clap,
I can do a
clap, clap, clap,
one-handed
hand.
one.
You're doing a one-handed one? That sounds kind of loose.
Sounds like a
I'm
plot.
tapping the
Well
pay
done,
table.
everyone.
Everybody.
I have to.
That's not a
push
clap.
to talk.
That's not a clap.
It
That's
is.
a clop. You're
Oh,
clapping.
dear.
Everybody start jacking off.
Oh man.
Oh God, no!
Oh,
Oh,
no!
Damn.
My ears!
NP's
My ears!
That sounds.
Squeaky ear.
Think of the poor audience.
Damn, you've been holding that in. Like, it was already.
Sorry.
Think of the poor audience. Oh my god.
I think our audience will
Just
be on help.
flapping-
They
just flapping
choose to
your-
listen to us.
I
They
hope
came
this doesn't
here.
get
They know what
flagged
they
for
were getting
kids.
into.
This better not get flagged by YouTube for kids, because I'm telling you, kids, this
I
is
mean,
not
it's
for kids.
educational either way.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Educational,
they'll
but
learn
not for
a
kids.
fucking lot. Yeah.
It's educational.
Oh, can you tell me you didn't learn something today?
Yeah, Europe is
can't-
very explosive.
There we go.
They like banging.
They like to bang.
Oh god.
Yeah, I didn't realize that there were so many explosive-based things in Europe. I did actually learn a lot.
And with that, we come to a close of this episode of Would I Lie to You? So it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from Cerridwen.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye from Clever Hooves.
Goodbye!
See, you missed a point of saying Rockamopalopolis there.
Rocketopoulos!
Goodbye from Midnight.
Keep watching that moon.
Goodbye from Vladi.
Bye-bye.
And goodbye from Xena, our resident explosives expert.
Don't die.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
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 Bye bye.